Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got a story today that's guaranteed to give you chills, especially if you've ever used a dating app like Grindr. What started as a normal Friday night for me quickly turned into the most terrifying experience of my life. This is why I'll never use Grindr again. Make sure you watch until the end, because the twist will leave you speechless. So, it was a typical Friday night, and I was bored at home, just scrolling through Grindr like I usually do, nothing serious, just looking to chat or maybe meet up with someone. That's when I matched with this guy named Evan. He had a great profile picture, handsome, clean cut, with a kind of smile that made him seem really approachable. His bio just said, looking for a good time, up for anything, nothing unusual, right? We started chatting, and honestly, it was one of the easiest conversations I've had on the app. He was funny, charming, and seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me. After about an hour of messaging back and forth, he suggested we meet up. Now, normally, I'm pretty cautious. I like to chat with someone for a few days before meeting in person, but Evan was different. I felt like I could trust him, so I agreed. He invited me over to his place. At first, I wasn't sure, so I suggested we meet at a bar instead, but he convinced me that his place was just around the corner, and it would be more private. Against my better judgment, I decided to go for it. When I got to the address he gave me, it was a modest apartment building in a part of town I wasn't really familiar with, but it looked fine, nothing too sketchy. I texted him that I was outside, and he told me to come up to the third floor. So I did. The hallway was dimly lit, and for some reason, it gave me this uneasy feeling, but I shook it off as just nerves. I knocked on the door, and after a few seconds, it creaked open on its own. I called out, "Evan," but no one answered. I took a step inside, and that's when I noticed the apartment was completely empty. No furniture, no lights, just bare walls and a cold, empty space. My heart started pounding in my chest. Something was definitely wrong. Before I could turn around and leave, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Evan. "I'm watching you." I froze. Every instinct told me to run, but it was like my feet were glued to the floor. I quickly spun around and bolted out of the apartment, sprinting down the stairs and out of the building as fast as I could. I didn't stop running until I was back at my car, heart racing and completely freaked out. I blocked Evan's profile and deleted the app right there. But the story doesn't end there. For the next few days, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. Every time I went outside, I felt eyes on me. My phone kept buzzing with messages from unknown numbers, all of them saying things like, "I know where you are and you can't hide." I was terrified. I tried to go about my life as usual, but the paranoia was overwhelming. I changed my number, installed security cameras, and even stayed with a friend for a few nights, but nothing helped. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Your support really helps me keep creating content like this, and if you've ever had a creepy experience, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Then, one night around AM, I woke up to a strange noise. It was a soft, scraping sound, like something was being dragged across the floor. I was half asleep, but the noise was persistent, so I got up to check it out. I walked into my living room, and everything seemed normal until I noticed that the window was slightly open. My heart skipped a beat. I was sure I had locked it before going to bed. I quickly shut the window and tried to calm myself down, telling myself it was nothing, just my imagination. But then I saw it. On the floor, right next to the window, was a single, muddy footprint. It was fresh. Someone had been in my apartment. Panic set in. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, trying to keep my voice steady as I told them someone had broken in. The police arrived within minutes, but by then, whoever it was had already vanished. They searched the apartment, but there was no sign of forced entry, nothing missing, just that single, muddy footprint. The police took my statement, but there wasn't much they could do. They told me to stay somewhere else for the night, so I went to my friend's place and crashed on their couch. The next morning, I went back to my apartment to grab some clothes, and that's when I noticed something that made my blood run cold. On my bedroom wall, scrawled in black marker, were the words, "I told you I was watching." I moved out the next day. I don't know who Evan really was or how he found me, but I do know that I'll never use Grindr again. The app might be convenient, but you never really know who's on the other side of the screen. So if you're using it, be careful, because you might match with someone who's not just looking for a good time, but something much darker. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as terrifying as I did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and remember, always trust your gut. Stay safe out there.